Well, Charlotte O'Brien dreamed of a world where kids looked out for one another, where there would be upstanders and not bystanders. Now that vision is at the heart of a new national anti-bullying reform, one that her dad, Matt Howard, helped to bring to life.
After Charlotte took her own life at age 12, Matt has worked tirelessly with education ministers to turn her words into action, shaping key changes for safer, kinder schools. For Matt, it's not just policy, it is personal. And we welcome Matt Howard to the show this morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
You were taken through this report by the ministers last week. How have you responded to it?
I think the report is very comprehensive. There's been a lot of effort which has gone into this, a lot of submissions. I think the government was quite blown away by how many brave people came forward with their own stories to share, 1,700 in total. And the government has taken the amount of time that is necessary to make sure it's right. And we certainly welcome what's in the report. It's incredibly comprehensive and if implemented correctly will make a big difference.
I saw Charlotte's words there about being an upstander, not a bystander. They're actually used in the report. There's something that you offered up, you and your wife Kelly, Charlotte's mum. What was it like to have that included in the report? And it's such a powerful message that everyone can do something.
It's amazing. Yeah, Charlotte used to say to us that she just needed an upstander, not bystanders. And this has come from the very early days, soon after Charlotte passed. I was looking at bullying policies in schools and noticed some inconsistencies there. They were different. And when I spoke to Chris Minns about it, I spoke to Prue Carr about it, I spoke to the Prime Minister about it. None of those had answers, but they all committed to go and find out why. And this now, when it's implemented, will mean that we set one set of standards across every school in this country. And I'm incredibly humbled that Charlotte's played a big part in that.
What does being an upstander mean? Because I know a year ago you were at pains to say, look, these are other 12-year-old girls that we're talking about here. What does being an upstander look like for anyone that is watching? How does that sound?
An upstander is if you see someone that's been treated poorly, or if you see someone in distress, or you see someone who just needs a hand, that you don't just sit by and watch it take place, that you stand up and you go over across the floor. And you tell them things are going to be okay, and you lend them an ear. It's not a difficult thing to do. And these policies aren't a tick-in-the-box exercise. This is not about having a anti-bullying policy on your website and running some token assemblies. This is about instilling empathy, kindness, and mental health awareness into every school culture in this school. And the upstander, I think, is an important part of that.
Matt, one of the key recommendations was this new 2-day response. How have you responded to that? Do you think that will go far, changing lives, potentially saving lives?
I think it's fantastic. Now every incident that is reported has to be reported. You can't call things a different name. It can't be friendship issues. It can't be teenage antisocial behaviour. It is what it is. It now has to be mandatory reporting, as well as timelines around the actions that have taken as a result of the report that's been put forward. I think it will make a big difference. If you stop these things from happening in the early stages, then they don't become bigger problems.
So what does that look like for a school to do that and for them to have a response? Because that response needs to be effective, not just recording it, right?
Yep.
So what does that look like?
Well, we provided some feedback. We did get to meet with the Federal Minister of Education even before he submitted the report to the state and territory leaders, and I thought that was great. And some of the feedback that we provided is around what we would like to see in terms of that reporting. Parents need to be notified. The notification needs to be in writing. There needs to be a paper trail that these things have happened. The meetings need to take place where the parents are brought in to discuss. The policies around the school need to be reiterated to those that are involved. And there does need to be consequences. If the behaviour continues, there needs to be some guidelines around what those consequences look like.
Matt, if these recommendations had been in place earlier, do you feel they would have helped your family?
100%.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting on this couch today.
Yeah, okay.
And so because this is now coming back to a lot of the schools to deal with this. So what would you say to the principals that are watching, to the teachers that are watching, about what they can do?
I know teachers and principals already have a big job today, and I know that this will add to the workload that they have. I do love the fact that there's additional training that will come in, even with teachers that are training to become teachers for the first time. But along with those big jobs comes big responsibilities, just like our nurses and our police and our doctors have a responsibility for the welfare of our children, so do the teachers and principals. So it is a big responsibility, and I hope they adopt it.
Well, we just hope everyone now gets on board, Matt. Thank you so much for your time today. Can't believe how much of a difficult time this is.
Yeah, and just how incredible it is for you and Kelly and for all of the families who have been part of this when you're dealing with the worst thing that, you know, a parent can imagine. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.